When I was given this task to create a video essay for the first time, I gave it a short thought. Why not do How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World? I thought about doing all three movies, but decided to only do the third one because I had more to say about it. If I had to stick to one main focus to talk about this movie, I'd do the symbolic codes. If you're unfamiliar with this term, don't worry. I'm about to explain it. Symbolic codes has its own needs for a story, such as colour and mise-en-scene. First off, mise-en-scene. Mise-en-scene is French for everything between the frames, meaning all the things in that one frame mean more than what we thought they would. For example, in this scene, the first 5 minutes or so of the film, we are first introduced to a ship, and we see Hiccup and Toothless. Then the others appear, and we see a full shot, no cuts, just one long shot with the camera turning to show each character fighting and talking. These few scenes show how much the characters rely on their dragons. They start to feel a little careless because they know their dragons are going to swoop in and save them. And this scene sets up that theme for the rest of the film. The characters rely too much on their dragons to save them from a dangerous situation, or, just be there for them. This is the struggling choice that Hiccup and Toothless has to learn. The lesson in this movie is that sometimes you need to let go of the things you love, because if you truly love them, you will let them go. Now, colour. I love this. The colour in this movie are insane. The lighting in every frame, the attention to detail is unbelievable. The way the fire moves and distorts everything in the heat waves, and how even if you're focusing on the characters in particular scenes, in the back there are a bunch of other Vikings and dragons walking around doing stuff. This makes the film feel more alive and real. Like in this shot here, even if you don't notice it, there are people in the background walking around and dragons doing what dragons do best. We get a glimpse of this when the camera focuses on Toothless lying down. Take your eyes off the dragon, you will see the active Vikings in the back in the blinding light. Talking too much about that. The water in this movie is amazing. I don't think I've ever seen a movie where water is focused on a lot. The attention to the sky is beautiful. There's a long shot of just Toothless and the Light Fury. That scene starts off in the dark and ends as the sun rises in the morning. And that other long shot of her and Toothless soaring through the sky. The lights are on the grass and leaves, the details on wood and leather and metal, the way the light hits every speck of hair, the animation on Astrid's hair when he kisses her, the off-screen death is also hilarious. The attention to every scale on every dragon, and the eyes on Toothless when Hiccup holds him. You can see the love in his eyes for his friend. Gosh, this is making me tear up. The producer, Dean DeBlouse, really loves his work and the end result. The trilogy is based off on the famous book called How to Train Your Dragon. I know this because I own one of the books with a very misleading cover. Anyway, the author, Cressida Cowell's version of Toothless, is the size of an ordinary cat. All the Vikings weren't killing the dragons. They, like the title, trained their dragons to hunt prey and do other things. They also had their own language, which Hiccup learns and uses it to speak to Toothless, because unlike the movie, he couldn't train Toothless. He is as stubborn as a Viking. In the novels, Astrid was never a character. The producer wanted us little girls to look up to someone who needed to be a female lead. That role went to Astrid, and I think they made the best decision when it came to creating her. I mean, Ruff could have done a great job too, if it wasn't for her weird brother who keeps making big jokes and amputated leg insults.
My thick, full beard almost caught on fire.
Ugh, just stop.
So, look, if you need a beard to cry on, just lean on my shoulder and you can cry into my full, thick beard.
Oh, thank you, Toughnut. Thank you so much.
My own place! I plan to build a hut, only for the bearded. Roughnuts, you gotta stay out. Chin whiskers don't count. Fear the facial hair! Come, cry into my full, thick beard. A moment. Listen, I've been watching you walk. Lose the limp. No one's gonna marry that.
I have a prosthetic leg.
So have I.
And I have a parasitic twin, but you don't see me limping around about it.
The animators used different animal parts and behaviors to create the dragons. Toothless is like a giant salamander mixed with a black panther. Deadly Natters are based on parrots, and the Light Fury is based on a snow leopard and an axolotl. They took wings, antlers, claws, beaks, coloration, and any other variation from animals that made these dragons amazing. I want to talk about the lovely Light Fury. I'm just going to call her Lila. Lila in this movie is so glamorous and beautiful, I can never understand the hatred towards her. She's a subspecies of a female, not a female Night Fury. When Dean DeBlouse even stated this, if Toothless is a lion, then she has to be a lioness. They're the same species, she's just a subspecies. And we took inspirations from other similar species to Toothless, like snow leopards and axolotls. Lila in this movie is so pretty. Her little prance in the beach scene gets me every single time. Can understand why Toothless likes her so much. But what I don't understand is how Grimmel was using her to lure Toothless away from Hiccup. Like he said, Night Fury is much like wolves, mate for life. So, if I'm getting this right, Grimmel was trusting Lila to find Toothless and make him fall in love with her. Okay. He says he hates dragons, but he's trusting this dragon to help him kill her possible mate. I don't think you guys know how stupid I find this plot. Like, did he have a plan if Lila, say, didn't like Toothless or didn't find him? Did Grimmel even have a plan B if plan A failed? Speaking of Grimmel, I feel he could have made a bigger and better villain if he, say, dressed in Night Fury skin or wearing their scales like Drago did. He was wearing dragon skin to appear more dragon-like. Drago used dominative skills to appear deadlier and bigger than any dragon. So my suggestion is, if Grimmel wore Night Fury skin, or had a helmet with Night Fury teeth or those ear thingies, he would have appeared more aggressive and barbaric, but stayed as a psychological villain. That way, he is hard to read and unpredictable. I felt that he was predictable. That scene when he releases Ruff and uses her to follow her back to New Burke, I feel is a cheap move. Everyone knows some of the best villains are never predictable. I want to wrap this up with the reason why I love this trilogy. Much like Harry Potter, I grew up with the series and the characters, so seeing them go is quite saddening for me, because I'll miss their adventures and the characters that I've grown up with and learnt new things from. And basically, I'll miss their quirkiness, their destructive behavior, and even their savageness at times.
Who died and made you chief? What? Ow!
But most importantly, I'll miss the fact that one of my ships sailed and never sunk.